This video is not intended to harm, harass, hurt, bully, belittle, or demean anyone. With that being said, T.S. Madison and Jess Hilarious. Y'all mind if I cut in? Because I got some shit to say. Let's talk about it, baby. Because this is a big deal. Let's go. Welcome back. What's up, y'all? My name is Big Mouth, and this is my channel. If you have not been here before, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on my post notification bell, baby, so you can be alerted when I upload a new video, girl. Let's talk about it, baby, because this is a very sensitive topic that I've been meaning to get back to you guys about for some time now. I know we talked about this on live, but it didn't do it justice. This is a topic. It is why it's very sensitive. I feel like it is one of those topics where you have to take a strong standpoint, a firm standpoint, and you got to believe in what you're saying, and you have to stand in it wholeheartedly. Now, I would like to leave the door open for communication and for education. But at the same time, I need my opinion to be respected as I give it. Let's go. So, y'all, I was on Instagram the other day, and I saw the response that Jess Hilarious had to the transgender that made the viral TikTok, saying that periods and menstruations and, all of those things did not belong to women, and basically saying that transgender women are gonna be women and there's nothing y'all can do about it, and they're gonna be in your space and there's nothing you can do about it, so what are you gonna do? What's her exact words? What are you gonna do about it?
This is what I mean when the transphobia just comes out, the audacity and just the arrogance for cis women to believe that they own periods, that they own womanhood. You don't. Okay, you don't own periods, you don't own womanhood. You experience both, and both are different for every person, but as a cis woman, it doesn't belong to you, so you can't gatekeep it. Like, hello? Let me say this again, I don't want a period. Blessing Rose does not want a period. Blessing Rose doesn't want a vagina. Blessing Rose barely wants boobs. Okay, I like being what I have, having my penis, I love that. I made this video and I made all my videos about periods because cis women are being transphobic and misogynistic. Even if I was wrong, even if the science wasn't there and it's not a hormonal period and it's just hormonal imbalance, whatever, what does it matter? Let trans women call it a fucking period. It takes nothing from you. But the fact that cis women are fighting so hard, you're not this, we're the blueprint, we're the original, that it's giving insecurity. It's giving jealousy. It's giving y'all used to look like a man and now y'all don't, and now y'all are coming for our periods and now we feel threatened and you're trying to take our spot. That's what it's giving. But let me say it again. I don't want a fucking period. Never did. I don't want to have babies. Not for me. Hello?
All right, guys. So, of course, Libs of TikTok took my video again, and I'm going viral. There's also an article done on me. It says Black transgender activists claiming that biological women don't own periods or womanhood. You can go look it up. It's hello. But it's interesting because people will take a 30-second clip of what I say and what I mean and just completely run with it, right? Imagine thinking critically about a situation and actually thinking about it, because everything is nuanced. Nothing is just white or black. Reality is you don't have to agree with me, but I said what I said and I stand by that. Cis women don't own womanhood. Cis men don't own periods, because you can't create like a one-size-fits-all for womanhood and cishood and expect people to go with it. It doesn't work like that. Everyone thinks thinks about it differently, right? Everybody has their own idea of what it means to be a woman, what it means to be a man, because some women think you have to be a mother. All right, you have to have children. You have to have a uterus. And others say, no, I don't have to do any of that shit. Don't want any of that shit. I'm a woman because I say I'm a woman, because of my experiences, because of how I feel internally, because of my spirit. Okay, so this is why having a one-size-fits-all for womanhood or manhood doesn't work, because we're not a monolith. Imagine that. It's like you can own an Apple iPhone, but you don't own the brand Apple, right? You don't. And at the end of the day, womanhood should be personalized because it's all about the person and what they believe and how they feel. We are literally gods. We create our own reality, right? So I think there's delusion involved because I feel like a lot of cis women think that they allowed us to be in their space when a lot of you bitches was clocking us and letting these men hurt us. That's another discussion. But you didn't allow us to be in your space. You don't own femininity space, right? You experience it. You can own your own version of it, but you don't own what it actually means overarching. You don't own the oversoul of womanhood and femininity. And let's be clear, it was black trans women and black gay men that showed you bitches what it means to present hyper feminine, right? What we consider feminine today, that was thanks to the queer community. So let's have respect for that. At the end of the day, you don't have to believe trans people are valid, right? This is a big ass planet, big ass ocean, big ass galaxy, big ass universe. You can just think that we're all meant to be the same and people are delusional. You can do what you want to do. But respect is mandatory, right? And if you don't agree with someone, scroll. That's it. Block. But at the end of the day, this isn't your space. It's a free earth. We can do whatever the fuck we want. We can believe however we want. And if we want to call our shit a period, if we want to partake in womanhood, we're going to do that. What are you going to do? Hello?
So, Jess Hilarious did make a response to the video, and she has some very strong opinions, to say the least. Following Jess Hilarious' strong opinions, you know, her rhetoric basically consisted of, we're women and you're not. We have ovaries. We give birth. We bleed once a month, and we are the only beings that have menstruation periods.
For us. Who the fuck stands up for us? And us, I mean women, real women, biological women, women who were born with all the parts that you guys wish that you were. When does the delusion stop? What is the difference between you and someone who has been diagnosed to be mentally insane? What's the only difference is you don't have a straitjacket on. Stop talking out your fucking ass. Wake up. How are you projecting your anger on real women? Because we are the gatekeepers. We are the gatekeepers for periods. We the only one that fucking bleed, honey. We the only ones that can give birth. We make y'all people. We make y'all. Y'all come from us. You can't be us. You will never. You're chasing something you'll never, ever get. You'll never be that.
Like, hello?
So T.S. Madison responded, and basically what she said in so many words, and I'm paraphrasing here, is it's always the women who look like or get mistaken for transgenders who tend to be mad at transgenders. Okay. Piggybacking off of her, Angelica, I don't know what her last name is, but the one from Pose, Candy, the one that got killed off on Pose. She had the same sentiments as T.S. Madison, basically calling Jess Hilarious a man or a transgender, saying she looked like one. And here's my thing. Those were the responses. Those are the only ones I care about. Sydney Starr said something too, which was, honestly, to tell you the truth, Sydney Starr, I liked her response. It was more understanding than T.S. Madison's and Angelica's. They were more so militant on the topic. They were very firm on their standpoint. And, I don't like the way they handled it. I'm just saying like that, baby. Let's break it all the way the fuck down. I just said I didn't went into the politics. Now I'm about to give y'all my raw opinion. Let's break it all the way the fuck down. I don't agree with T.S. Madison and Angelica. I do not agree with Jess Hilarious in the tone she took when she said what she said. Not Jess. I'm gonna get on you first. And the reason I'm gonna get on you first is because I have a lot to say to the other two. So I'm gonna just get yours out the way. I don't like the tone you took. It was more so you were trying to humiliate them, and the fact that you were pointing out that they couldn't have kids or saying that they were less than you in so many words. I know you didn't say those exact words, but that was kind of the tone you took. Oh, you're less than me. You're not, whole, and I am, and those things, and that kind of tone that you took. And at the end of the day, what Jess said was right. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, it was. It was factual, and that's what I mean by right. It was factual. However, I didn't like the tone. Now, Jess, I feel like you do have some kind of internalized homophobia, and that kind of manifested its way into transphobia as well. And I think that you, not only to transgender women, but also to gay men, you have this chip on your shoulder when it comes to the LGBT community. And I don't know what that comes from. You know what I'm saying? You could have had some bad experiences with gay people. You know, maybe, you know, a gay person took your man back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a gay person said or did something to you that made you feel less than a woman. Or, you know what I'm saying? As we've seen with T.S. Madison and Angelica, maybe it's gay people who've been comparing you to a man your entire life, and maybe that's why you don't like the gay community. But Jess, I do think that you, as a grown adult black woman, need to recognize that you do have internalized homophobia and transphobia, and you need to deal with that, sis. You need to stop trying to lay it on your womanhood and your femininity. Oh, I'm just standing up for black women. No, you're not. No, you're not. Okay? Because we've seen countless times where you've said homophobic things, countless times where you've said transphobic things. So we know that your opinion is rooted in some deeper hate. Now, right message, wrong messenger. Just like that. Love you, baby. Now, T.S. Madison, I find it quite funny that as a transgendered woman, you think that it's kosher or think that it's a slight to compare a black woman, a dark-skinned black woman, okay? And let's not act like black women have not been compared to men for decades, for centuries, as a slight, okay? As an insult. You thought it was kosher as a trans black woman, you know, or as a black transgender, you know, to compare a black woman to a man, when the only reason why you can walk around and pass for a woman is because black women have natural masculine features. So you can be mistaken for one from time to time. So the same thing that is making you able to navigate this world and not be clocked most of the time is the thing you're bashing Just Hilarious for, when you're literally trying to imitate what she naturally is. And I'm going to say it just like that because that's exactly what it is. And at the end of the day, I feel for Jess and I feel for black women and all women, every last woman, and whether they agree with me or not, because here's the thing. We as human beings have differences. Okay? And those differences should not be smeared. Those differences, those lines that are drawn should not be smeared or wiped away. They should be respected and celebrated. There is a difference between a transgender and a woman. There are blatant differences. It's plain as day, sis. There are biological differences. Okay? There are anatomical differences. It's just a difference. One is a woman and one is a man that chose to live as a woman. And at the end of the day, at the foundation of it, that's what we're dealing with here. Okay? Now, I know that we have went so far, and I say we as a society, baby, because I don't subscribe to it. I'm sorry. I don't subscribe to the extra pronouns, the QIA plus, the what they call it, the they and them and all of that shit. I don't do all of that, baby. Okay? You're going to be a he or a she, or you're not going to talk to me, and that's just how the fuck it's going to go. Okay? I'm 28 years old, baby. I grew up in a whole different era, baby. We didn't do that kind of shit, and I'm not about to start now. Okay? All of the extra shit, it's ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous, especially for a group of people like the group of people that we are. And I say we loosely because honestly, to tell you, anyway, we'll get back to that. The group of people we are, for us to say that we hate labels and we don't want to be labeled and we don't want to be boxed in, we sure go out of our fucking way to put labels on ourselves and come up with a whole slew of additional labels that we can pick out the box from. Now, when it comes to the situation or the topic of transgenders and women, you are very different. And those differences, like I said before, should be respected. Transgenders, you have fought so long and so hard to be respected as trans men, trans women, and be celebrated in that right. Okay? To get your own respect, your own laws, your own this, your own that. So for you to now, after we've, you know what I'm saying, basically, I don't want to say won it all because we haven't. You know what I'm saying? There's still a lot of things that LGBTQIA plus people, girl, my ass got tongue tied saying this shit. LGBTQIA plus people are still fighting for it to this day. But for the most part, we have made a lot of advances within the last 5 to 10 years on our own behalf. We have made a lot of advances. So for you to ask for your own rights, your own human rights in one regard, and then in the next regard, you're trying to rob women of their natural born rights, it is complete hypocrisy. It is complete hypocrisy. What that transgendered person did when they tried to rob womanhood from women, and I'm going to put it like that because that's how I saw it. For you to tell women that they don't own things that are specific to women and women only, I feel like that, more than anything else, more than any other display, was the most arrogant and entitled display of misogyny I have ever seen. How can you, as a transgender, say that you feel objectified, say that you feel policed, say that you feel put down, beaten down, or belittled by heteronormative society or heterosexual men, and then you adopt the same personality characteristics, the same personality traits that your oppressors display, and you use them to oppress another group of marginalized people? Women are one of the most, if not the most, marginalized demographic there has been throughout history. Okay? Before we knew what a transgender was, before we knew what a gay person was, women were being oppressed. So I feel like it's becoming a case of projection. All of the inadequacies, all of the insecurities that society has bestowed on the transgender community, all of the violence, all of the atrocities that you guys have suffered at the hands of our society, I feel like you're projecting those onto women. I think that now that you have a little bit of leeway, now that, you know, trans rights are being respected and legislations are being passed and things like that, I feel like you guys are ready for a new underdog, in a sense. And not all of you. Oh God, not all of you. This is not to every transgender person, but there is a small group of people within your community who have began to belittle women, in the way of minimalizing the woman's experience, minimalizing their womanhood down to a wig and makeup. And I know this is not all trans people. I know that there are some trans people who do respect the woman experience, the female experience, and understand that it is very different from yours. And just the same as there are those, they're the ones who don't. They're the ones who feel like just because you can bleed once a month don't make you no different than me, and we're the same thing, and we go through the same thing, and just because I choose to live as a woman, I'm experiencing the same thing you are. No, you're not. No, you're not. Okay? A man who grew up as a little boy, okay, with the brain of a woman, or identifying as a woman, or identifying as a little girl, growing up, getting the male experience though. Getting the male experience, going through puberty as a male, going through adolescence as a male, going through your teenage years as a male, going through your young adulthood as a male, and then choosing, making the conscious decision as a grown adult male to transition, take hormones, and get surgery performed on your body to live as something you were not naturally born as, is not the same thing as a woman who had no choice. A woman who was born, a woman who had to go through menstruation when she hit puberty, a woman who had to go through cramps and different things like that, childbirth, menopause, these things. You know, a woman who has to go to a gynecologist every month or every 2 months or every 3, whatever the case is. That's not the same experience. A woman who is objectified by men, a woman who has no choice but to be objectified by the men around her and overcome those circumstances does not equate to a man who had male privilege, who grew up with male privilege, who can, at a moment's notice, take off the wig, take off the makeup, and assume an identity as a male in this male-driven society and basically get a leg up on the women that you claim to be a part of, does not equate to a woman's experience. That is not to demean anybody. That is factual information. Okay? Now, while I do respect your struggle as a transgender, a person who chooses to live in the fact, in the truth, in the fact that you chose to live as a woman. You identify with women more than you do men, and you have taken the steps to become what you identify as. I respect your journey against all odds, trying to live as what you see yourself as on the inside. That's great. Kudos. Give it up, babes. However, you attempting to live in your truth does not mean that you can step on somebody else's. Because at the end of the day, you are somebody who chose womanhood. Women were burdened with it. And womanhood is beautiful. It's not a burden. I'm just saying the woes of womanhood are a burden to some women, and they don't have a choice to take it off. They can't detransition out of womanhood. They can't step out of it, okay? They have to bear it. They have to bear the cross for their entire life, from sunrise to sunset. So do not rob them of that, okay? Women are the life bringers. Without them, there would be no us. Every last transgendered person, straight person, gay person came from a woman. Okay? Came from a woman at the foundation of it. We all came from women. In order for us to multiply, we need these beautiful creatures that God has bestowed upon this earth. With that being said, they deserve their own respect. They deserve to be called what they want to be called, women. They deserve to be respected and not policed. They deserve not to have titles bombarded upon them that they did not ask for nor approve. The same way that gay people, LGBT people deserve to be called what we want to be called, women deserve to be called what they want to be called. They deserve to be respected in their own right, and they deserve to have womanhood reserved for them because it was naturally given to them. Let's ask ourselves this. If there were a group of people that were saying men could no longer be called men, they had to be called cis men, they had to be called birthing machines or birthing apparatuses or whatever the case is, I promise you there would be so much uproar. Okay, Congress was shut down if some shit like that came. It wouldn't happen. It would be unheard of. Because men dominate the planet that we populate. And they ain't going for it. We are not going for it. But the thing about it is, we are forcing this onto women. We didn't ask women what they wanted. We forced it on them and said, this is what you're going to take. And that in itself is misogynistic behavior. And I think that's where transgenders need to check their motherfucking selves. Because at the end of the day, these women were here first. And these women deserve respect. The same respect you're asking for. Do not impede on their space and respect their differences. And let's let everybody's differences be respected. And that's all I got to say, baby. Now I'm going to keep getting drunk, and I'm going to come back to y'all with some more tea, all right? Bye! Get it together, y'all.